Sixth grade lesson 2.9 is dividing mixed numbers. So now we can take what our brain digested from the previous lesson, and now we can apply all the steps to it and just divide in a calculation sort of manner. But before we get into it, I want to just dust some cobwebs off, refresher on how to change mixed numbers into improper fractions and then improper fractions back into mixed numbers again, because we manipulate them both ways depending on what our need for them is. So just a quick reminder. Let's say I have 9 1/3. That means I have 9 whole pizzas and 1 out of 3 pieces of a 10th pizza. So I have 9 and a little bit more. It's another pizza cut into 3 equal pieces, but only one of those are left. 2 of you ate them. I don't know. So what I want to do is cut all of these 9 pieces into the same, 9 pizzas into the same size slices as this one. So I'm cutting them all into 3 equal pieces. And then I still have that 1 left over. So it would be 9 times 3, because that's the cutting up of all of these into 3 pieces. 9 times 3 plus the 1 that's still left will give me what this is an improper fraction. Multiply, add, bring it to the side. Multiply, add, bring it to the side. So here I'm going to multiply 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 more is 28 thirds. 28 pieces of pizza that are cut into thirds, each pizza cut into thirds. There's 28 of them. Improper fraction, right? Because we know there's more than one. Whenever you have an improper fraction, there's more than one whole. We know that. We know there's 9 actually. But in order to calculate, we need it this way. When we get our answer, we want to convert this back into whatever number we end up with. We want to convert it back into a mixed number. So let's review that as well. That is simply a division problem. Divide the bottom into top. The remainder is the numerator. So we would divide 28 divided by 3. That goes in 9 times. 9 times 3 is 27. That gives me a remainder of 1. Remainder is the numerator. The denominator is the divisor, 3. Still 3 pieces, right? So we need to remember how to convert mixed numbers into improper. Multiply, add, bring it to the side. And then we need to also remember how to convert improper fractions back into a mixed number when we need to. Bottom into top. Remainder is the numerator. So say those as many times as you need to get them stuck in your head. All right, so now let's go ahead and go into the steps for how to divide those mixed numbers. And you're probably looking at these steps: change into a fraction, keep, change, flip, cross, reduce, multiply straight across, and convert, reduce. And those may look familiar, I hope, because in lesson 2.7, that's exactly the steps we use. We use the same steps to divide fractions and mixed numbers, because mixed numbers are just a version of the fraction. Change into fraction is where we're changing those mixed numbers into an improper fraction, and then we just treat them like we did in lesson 2.7. So extra practice on that. That's great. That means it's sinking deeper and deeper into your brain until it's habit. So next year when you've got to calculate with these, that's not an issue for you. You're like, oh, I got this. I can do this. All right. So we're talking about we're talking about hikers. I take it back. We're not talking about hikers yet. We're talking about a box that weighs 9 1/3 pounds, and it contains robot kits inside of it. So different boxes inside of it. The boxes weigh 1 1/6 pounds a piece. How many robot kits are in the box? All right. So I have this box, right? That's 9 1/3 pound. And inside of it, there's a bunch of boxes, each of which is 1 1/6 pound. And so if I pull 1 1/6 pound out of there, and then again, and then again, and then again, and then again, that's repeated subtraction, right? Repeated subtraction's shortcut is division. So we start with the full amount that we had, and we divide it into the pieces we're pulling out. And there's my calculation that I have going on. All right, so now I'm just down to the steps that I need to know for dividing mixed numbers and fractions. First, change these into fractions. Okay, I've got mixed number and mixed number. So multiply, add, bring it to the side. So we're going to get 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28 thirds. multiply, add, bring it to the side. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Gives us 7/6. Now we have changed them to fractions. Next step is to keep, change, flip. We're going to use that reciprocal so we can use multiplication instead of division. So keep this one the same. Change division to multiply. Flip 7/6 on his head. We're using his reciprocal. That step is done. Now we're going to cross reduce if we can. Keep those numbers nice and small so that we don't have to multiply big numbers and reduce at the end. So I'm looking at my crosses here. Is there a number that divides evenly into both 3 and 6 other than 1? Sure there is. 3 goes into both of them, right? So 3 divides into 3 once. 3 divides into 6 twice. Let's check the other cross. Maybe that one can reduce too. Oh, look at this. 7 and 28. Yeah, 7 divides into both of those. How nice, 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 nice. 7 goes into 7 once, and 7 into 28 4 times. Next step is to multiply straight across. So I'm going to do 4 times 2, which is 8, and 1 times 1, which is 1. And now I'm at convert reduce. It is an improper fraction. We're going to divide the bottom into the top. There is no remainder. 1 goes into 8 exactly 8 times, and you already knew that. 8 is the answer. So there's going to be 8 boxes in there. Let's look at another example. We have on page 86, we have hikers. 4 hikers shared 3 1/3 quarts of water equally. How much did each hiker receive? Well, what's the amount of water we started with? Because that's what's being shared, right? The number that's being shared out, the amount that's about to be split up, is the number that we put first. So what's being shared out? The water is being shared out, and there is 3 1/3 quarts to start with. And it's being shared out equally, which in our brains at this point, we should now be at a point where we're like, oh, shared out equally. Yeah, that's division. So we're dividing that amongst how many people? And they put that in word form to see if you're paying attention. But yeah, 4. Put that in numeral form. 3 1/3 quarts divided by 4 into 4 equal pieces, divided amongst 4 people. So now that I have my equation, or my expression there, I can go ahead and just walk through my steps of division because I'm getting really good at this, right? Change everything to a fraction, okay. To change him to a fraction, multiply, add, bring it to the side. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So that is now 10/3. And 4 as a fraction, 4 divided by 1 is still 4, so there it is as a fraction. Now everything is a fraction, I can move on to my next step. I'm going to keep, change, to multiply, and flip, use the reciprocal. So keep, change division to multiply, and use the reciprocal. Flip 4 over 1 to 1/4. Now let's cross reduce if we can to keep those numbers nice and small. Is there a number that divides evenly into both 1 and 3? Well, no, because 1, no, there's not going to be. Once you see 1, you know that's as reduced as it's getting. How about 4 and 10? Those are both even. So I could divide 2 into both of these. So let's do 2 divided into both of them. 2 divides into 4 twice. 2 divides into 10 5 times. That's it though. I can't really reduce those any more than that. So now I am on the step to multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 2 is 6. Last step, convert it if it's improper, if it's that upside down snowman with the big body and the little head down here. But no, we're good. This is the smaller number. This is the bigger number. This is a proper fraction, meaning it's going to be less than 1. So we don't need to convert it. Reduce it. Is there anything that divides evenly into both of those other than 1? No, that's as reduced as it's getting. So what that tells us is that each hiker is going to get 5/6 of a quart of water, which is almost a whole quart, right? 6/6 would be a whole quart. They're almost getting a full quart of water. I hope they're not hiking for too long though, because maybe they might need more water. But for now, that's what they've got to share. All right, use those steps. I have those steps in the notes. If you printed off the notes, those steps are right there for you to refer back to. You'll need them for a little while, and then suddenly your brain will have them stuck in there, and you won't need the steps anymore. You'll just know the steps. So, but let's use those practices to get it stuck in our head nice and strong. Good luck. Let me know if you need any help.